All right, I can do that in that case. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cal Fire Relief Marathon. For those who don't know, this marathon is benefiting the California Fire Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that provides emotional and financial assistance to families of fallen firefighters, and the communities they protect. Please consider donating. It's going to a great cause. And with that, let's get back to the marathon. We're going to have Pokemon Snap of Danimalsounds. Take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Danimalsounds, and commentating the run today is Drogi SR.
Hi everybody.
So we'll just jump right in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So this is Pokemon Snap any percent. The goal is to beat the game as fast as possible, obviously. You do that by taking a picture of Mew after unlocking all the stages. And right at the beginning you take pictures of Pidgey as part of the tutorial. And then a picture of Butterfree. So many people think that this is an auto-scroller. It is kind of an auto-scroller, but depending on how you lock the camera by holding C, you can store different speeds and directions. So there's quite a lot of movement involved. The goal for this category is to get as many optimized pictures as possible, because some items are unlocked only with a certain score. And the better your points are, the earlier you can unlock items, because you can leave levels earlier. Did I miss anything?
It sounds good to me.
Well, yeah, the first level is quite lag reduction heavy. You stare at the sky a lot. And yeah, it's not going to be the case for the later levels. Yeah, on-rails shooter sounds about right.
Butterfree.
Can you maybe tell me which Pokemon you're at? Usually, like, sometimes.
Meowth. Right now.
Okay, yeah, we used to do Meowth differently for a while until we found out that this Meowth is worth the most points. For all the Pokemon, you have size and pose points. You might wonder why we're doing Eevee that early, because he's still far away, but that's because you want to get max pose points, and you only get max pose points for Eevee if he's facing you. And we did testing on all the Pokemon. We spent many hours to test all the Pokemon and get them as optimal as possible, so we know like the perfect frames and setups for all the perfect pictures. So the score was
22,900.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. If you get 22.5 or more, you can go for the earliest Electro picture and leave the level as quickly as possible. So depending on how many points you have, you can leave tunnel earlier or later and get the apple-shaped Pokemon food, which is a really helpful item in this speed game.
Oh, we have time for quick donation?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we have $50 for Anonymous just saying insert comment here. And that's it. I assume it's for the Metroid, the Fusion Seed and Metroid Prime. I don't think I met earlier or not, but that is met now. So either way, thank you for the donation, Anonymous.
So when throwing apples at Electabuzz, Dan moved to the right on the track, and this actually helps to set up the Kakuna picture, because you can get more than 4,000 points if you're at the right of the track. And yeah, then there's this laggy part of tunnel where you basically want to stare at the ceiling to reduce lag. But then right after, you want to get a Magikarp picture. So you want to stay on the right of the track but keep your maximum speed, which is why he locked the camera while looking forward. That's the card movement I mentioned earlier. And yeah, right after the Magikarp picture, he's gonna drift to the left of the track to get better pictures of Diglett, Haunter, and Dugtrio. We used to take Diglett way differently, but then we came up with a different cycle. We take Diglett earlier now. So we sacrifice points on Diglett because he's further away when we take the picture. Yeah, in favor of getting more points for a double duck trio. The part of Magnemite and Magneton is really hard because you want to lure them to the perfect position as quickly as possible, but still leave the level as early as possible. You do that by throwing the apple-shaped Pokemon food at the Electrode to trigger the cutscene. The poses for these Pokemon are kind of weird because you get most points for Magnitude if he's chasing an apple but hasn't actually reached it and when facing you, while Magneton needs to have reached the apple. And you want to get as many bonus points for the Magnitude as possible, which is kind of tricky. You get bonus points by having the same kind of Pokemon in the background. So the menuing can be quite tricky too because it's a tight timing where you want to move on to the next picture and select the next one. If you mess up slightly, if your order is not the same, it can be quite tricky. But usually we know like the perfect submitting order by heart.
Okay. I slightly messed up my Zubat picture there, which lowered my points just a little bit, but I should be okay to keep going with the normal route. I entered Volcano with 54,000 points, which is enough to do the fastest Moltres picture, which, Jogi, if you want to explain the different Moltres pictures, since I call them by the wrong names.
Yeah, depending on how many points you have, you can leave the level early or later after hatching Moltres. If you go for the earliest possible picture, you get like 400 points. If you wait for a few seconds and get early Moltres instead, that's what we call it, you gain points, but you lose a few seconds. So depending on how many points you have entering Volcano, you can leave the Volcano early or later, which shows that picture optimization is a huge thing in this speedrun. The more points, the faster you are, basically. And yeah, that point optimization and earlier level exits, that's what saved the most time over the old world records. Like the newer world records have much more optimized pictures, so yeah, that makes them able to leave levels earlier, basically.
Ooh. 71,900 points.
Yeah, the required amount of points to get the Pester Ball item, which is the next item, is 72,500. So you could actually just enter the river quickly, take a picture of Poliwag and leave, but now Dan has to wait a tiny bit to get a wonderful picture of Poliwag. Wonderful means the picture is centered, the Pokemon is centered in the picture and big enough for Oak to say wonderful.
That was the most exciting thing about this game as a kid was when Oak would say wonderful. We always waited for that.
It's kind of funny how he says, "You were close." Yeah, sadly in Japanese there's no Oak voice.
But Japanese saves 20 seconds over US, so we have to do it.
Got time for another speed donation?
Yeah.
Alright, just $10 for anonymous, no comments. Simple as that.
Nice.
So the whole slowpoke part is kind of hard. You have to lure them from as far away as possible so that you get the perfect timings for the good poses.
Oh.
For maximum points. What many people don't know is that you can take a picture of Shelter on the back of Slowpoke's tail. That's actually worth way more points than the casual Shelter. And yeah, coming up is the biggest RNG dependent part of the run. Basically, there's a 58% chance that you get a cloister. If you don't get one, you have to go for a backup later in the run. And it loses around 15 to 20 seconds. So here, like, almost half of the runs die to RNG. But that's like the only RNG part of the speedrun. Got it? Good.
Mm-hmm. I got 2.
Yeah, if you wonder why he sometimes waits for pictures, that's mostly point optimizations too. He wants to have Cloyster face him, or he wants to have a transformed Porygon eating the apple, and so on. That's all part of a huge spreadsheet of point optimizations and strats and testing we did. What's the score?
105,000.
Yeah, that's decent. The Bulbasaurs in this level have funny eyes. They look kind of weird. And yeah, if you throw a Pester Ball at them, they turn into a Ditto. Which is pretty cool. Then you take a picture of the small Grimer in the cave. And that makes the second Grimer spawn that's way bigger and worth more points. Then you can turn that into a Muck. So the biggest time save that has come up within the last years in terms of track herd optimization pretty much is the so-called Weeping Bell Snipe. With a really precise setup and a really precise shot, you can snipe Weeping Bell all across the map, which saves a huge amount of time because you can leave the level way earlier. However, you lose a lot of points because the Weeping Bell picture is got to be way smaller. And yeah, this is a part where many runs die, just because that snipe is really hard and up to some extent a tiny bit RNG dependent.
Didn't get it.
It was super close though.
Oof, damn it. Weeping Bell's being a jerk.
Wow.
Stopping in all the wrong places. Wasting my time.
You got this now, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and submit a little slower menuing there, but I'm submitting a different Weeping Bell picture. Just hoping that I get enough pictures to make it to my next point goal.
So basically, you Good. Basically, you want to leave stages as early as possible, as mentioned. That happens after tunnel when you get the apple-shaped Pokemon food, after river when you get the Pester Ball, after volcano when you take a picture of Moltres, and when you try to snipe Weepable all over the map. If you succeed at all of those, it sacrificed that many points, but your other scores were absolute perfect. You can get a score of 130,000 entering Valley, which allows for a so-called zero picture Valley. If you haven't reached 130k, you have to take more pictures in Valley, and every single picture you take loses around 4 seconds. So yeah, point optimization for the late game means that you have to take less pictures in Valley. You got 130k, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So hope you like blue, because that's what we get for about another minute and a half here. Different runners do different things during Valley. Some people use this opportunity for a 2-minute workout. They'll do squats. They'll do some push-ups. Some people check their Snapchat because it's Pokemon Snapchat. Do you get it? Snapchat.
I don't get it. Can you split in jokes?
I'm sorry.
Time for a donation.
There's actually no donations currently going on right now. But you all should donate. There are some cool incentives coming up. Such as, a lot of them in Enter Gudge, surprisingly. There's a Kill the Pass incentive, which is $50. It currently has $0 going towards it whatsoever. Also, of course, a few bid wars, such as before Enter the Gudgeon later on, there is Luffy 2 bid war between 5 different cast monsters you can use in Luffy 2. Between Sully, Darby, Zeppy, Gels, and Flash. And they're currently, I think, $0 towards any of them. So if you want any of that, so you can go for them. And literally anything, any amount will win. Up to you. Like literally anything. There's also a bit where between using the bunny suit or not using the bunny suit and Enter the Gungeon as well, right after a Luffy 2 run later. So the current is $0 towards any of that. So yeah, that's really all I have for now. Getting donations in. Give me things to read.
So coming up is the Mankey Snipe. You have a really precise setup where you line up the camera in the perfect spot and keep throwing Pester Balls over the hill to hit Mankey early. By sniping him, you basically leave the level earlier again. It saves several seconds, but yeah, it's a really hard setup. And then got the perfect backup. Good job.
Thanks.
So now that we talked to Professor Oak in the valley, we have to re-enter all the stages to take pictures of the Pokemon signs, which are objects in nature that resemble Pokemon. For Cave, it's this shining star in the wall that looks like a Mewtwo, apparently. And yeah, we unlock the boost, which means by holding R, you can be even faster than before in those levels. Yeah, and just boost through the levels as quickly as possible. Actually, in some surveys, Pokemon Snap was like, people wished for a Pokemon Snap 2. Was like on top of all the surveys of what games Nintendo should do next. They still haven't announced one yet, though.
You know, I actually do have a donation, or a donation I have to read. So, do you have time for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so we have $20 from CC Neverender.
Oh,
Lord say. There we go. Saying shoutouts to Danimalsounds for repping the Snap community and for being a swell guy.
Hi, CZ.
Well, Pokemon Snap virtual reality has happened before. That's already a thing. So yeah, by waking up Pokemon there, you got perfect sight on a tree that looks like Cubone, and in Volcano it was a cloud that looks like coughing that you have to take a picture of. By far the hardest sign is Tunnel, because you have to dodge Electrode and Electabuzz in a precise setup. And then you have to boost all the way through the Zapdos egg part while reducing lag. So you want to trigger a Pikachu running towards the egg as early as possible so you can make him spawn Zapdos as early as possible. Which turns on lights that look like pins here. So yeah, this is some really hard movement. It takes a while to get down. And the very last Pokemon sign in Beach, that's a Kingler. So like a bunch of stones that apparently look like Kingler. Now that we've taken all the pictures of the signs, we unlock the last stage, the Rainbow Cloud, which has Mew in it. So basically we want to throw apples at certain spots where Mew is likely to spawn. And yeah, we hope to hit him early to save some time. But in the end, Mew is RNG dependent. Sometimes he's further away, sometimes he's closer, sometimes he has more speed going left or right. At the very end, after the 6th hit, he spawns either left or right, which is a 50-50 chance of RNG. If you guess wrong, it's like half a second to a second that you lose again to RNG. The time's coming up when Oak is saving the game, so when the red text in the text box at the bottom appears. Which is... no.
Time is right now. Whew. There we go. That's Pokemon Snap.
What's the time?
It's like a 22:06.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
a decent time for a marathon. GG,
Yeah, that's
Dan.
awesome. Cool.
Really good.
Thanks. Thanks for doing the commentary, Jogi.
You're welcome. It was fun.
It was great. Thanks for having us, guys. And I did want to say, I live in California, and the fires that have been going on here have been just nuts. I personally am up to 34 families that I know that have lost property in the last year to California wildfires. So thank you guys for doing this marathon. Appreciate it, and everything that you're doing to relieve everything that you can. So thanks. And that's it.